So I've had the privilege and honor of going up to Camp Ronald McDonald for Good Times for the past 2 summers, and the experiences that I've had there have been absolutely amazing. From the beautiful scenery that we get to experience, to the great food, but also the hard work. Um, it is a great experience that I recommend that everyone should take. So just in terms of bringing you into the world that we experience when we go up there, um, my first impression, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know whether we were going to be sleeping outside in tents or if we were going to, eat PB&Js all day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I also didn't know the extent of work that we would be doing and the work that we did do, and I didn't understand how crucial it would be to having a positive impact on the experiences that the children that visit the camp have. So, in terms of understanding what we have done and what we have, how we have helped the camp, I'll never forget one of my first trips up there that one of the groups raked pine needles for 3 days, billions and billions of pine needles, and in the moment we may not have understood what we were doing, but it was the fact that after a year had passed, we learned that there was a fire that almost burned down the camp, and the pine needles that were raked helped save the camp because we had cleared all of the brush and all of the potential pathways that the children will walk on. So, not only with that, we have also, I remember moving um, these boulders, decent sized boulders, 25 to 30 pounds. And we created a walkway. And when we were doing it, we were, thinking of our lower back pain and thinking of how our hands were becoming gritty and calloused. But what we didn't understand until after we had finished the walkway was that we had just created a dam for the rainwater so that it wouldn't flood the streets and wouldn't flood the pathways during the year and during the rainy season. So the work that we do not only benefit the children that visit the camp directly, but it also helps with the upkeep of the camp year round and making sure that it's still a functioning and livable space. So it was a very interesting time in understanding that the work that you're doing is not for you. The work that you're doing is to service someone else, and not the that's not the only thing that I took away from the camp. Um, Cancer is something that I hold very close to my heart, and cancer survival and the fighting of it, um, especially when it is cast upon children, and it's a burden that they don't ask to carry, but they carry it. They carry it proudly, but they fight it with a strength that I personally don't. I feel that I do not have. I have never had cancer. I've never had anything close to the illness or sicknesses that the children face. But the fact that they wake up every day and they put their pants on one leg at a time like we do, and they fight a battle that they did not ask for. It makes me approach my 7-page papers a little bit differently. It makes me approach the weights that I lift a little bit differently because I see it as a privilege and an honor to be able to do those things when other people in this world wish to do so, but they cannot. But their ability to fight and push through is what allows us to fight and push through on a daily basis while we're up there for 3 days. We understand after the fact that the 8 hours of work that we put in could never amount to the 24 hours a day in terms of fighting, in terms of grinding, in terms of battling over the illness of cancer that the children go through. Not only am I surrounded by teammates and coaches and leaders that fight for and believe in servicing others, but I felt the presence of the camp itself. The different activities from the pool, uh, to their workshops, their arts and crafts workshops, and their it's not rock climbing, but it's I want to call it battle rope, but it's the fact that this camp creates a space and creates an environment that normalizes the world for children with cancer. And that's an initiative that I can get behind. The idea of an inclusive community and an inclusive environment is something that I strive to be around on a daily basis. And the fact that I am encapsulated by that environment for 3 days with the sole purpose of serving another person is a blessing that I would approach every day. One of the biggest things that I discovered about myself in traveling up to Camp for Good Times was understanding that the world is a lot bigger than me. One of the things that I've learned here over the last 4 years is this idea of humility and understanding that taking things for granted is a privilege. And that the children that visit these camps, as I've said before, may not get a chance to experience a normal life because of the different testings, the amount of doctor's appointments, the amount of treatment, and sometimes the exclusion that they face in school is something that I've been able to work around. And it is a humbling experience to know that when I go and I work for 3 days, that the hours that I put in there will reflect in the smiles and the hugs and the laughs and the unforgettable experiences that children will have in that next summer. It's not only a monetary thing in saving. For every $1,000 that we save, we send another child to camp. It's not about the money. It's about the experiences. And I am happy to say that the experiences that we as a team have been able to give children is something that you cannot put a price tag on. The experiences that I've had with my brothers, the stories that we tell, the amount of jokes that we make in our daily task is what binds us together. I grew as a man, I've grown as a teammate, and I've grown as a brother because of Camp for Good Times, and seeing that the world becomes a better place when we work for one another, whether that person is younger, our age, or older than us. It's the idea that when you give yourself up for the happiness of someone else, you in turn become happy in that. Giving happiness is something you cannot put a tag on, and I think that's the sole purpose of this trip, is to create and give happiness to the people in the world that struggle and find it hard to have ready access to happiness because their life may be filled with turmoil. But it has definitely changed me as a man and how I view my interactions with people. This trip in its entirety is beneficial. It is good for the soul. It's good for people. Servicing and service is something that we are taught as children at an early age. Treat others in the way that you want to be treated. And in the work that we do and the effort that we put into cleaning the camp reflects heavily in an actual physical and tangible outcome. You're able to see happiness and joy displayed in a way that's unparalleled and unforgettable. In our closing day, there's a video that's played, and it's of the campers, and the video is filled with dancing and laughing and jokes and talents and singing, and we're able to see Children when we go up there, it's an idea that we are servicing children with cancer. But when you leave, you get a feeling of you are servicing happy, vibrant children without an illness because of the work that we have put in and the experiences that they create outmatch and outweigh their illness. And their time and their week up there, they create memories that overshadow the work that we do. Because the work that we do is not for our own gain in terms of a credit or of a feeling of fulfillment, but it is for them. They are the reason that we go up there. They are the reason why we continue to go back. They are the mission. Our mission is to serve. But our overall and main mission is to create and stimulate an environment for children to be happy in who they are. Camp for Good Times is a great trip. The experiences that I've had up there, unforgettable. But it's the fact that when you go for the first time, you go back a second time and a third time because you start to understand that it's not about you, but it's about the smile and the laughs, the hugs, and the great times that you'll create for another human being that is experiencing their childhood in the best way possible.